Hey, what's up, fam? It's Joe Mill here with Killer Miller Q, and today, getting ready for the holiday, I got a special recipe from Rasheed Phillips. We're gonna be doing this standing rib roast, basted to perfection on his Lone Star smoker. No time to waste. Let's get to it. There she is out the package, baby. So check it out. Like I said, nice piece of meat. It's already been Frenched. As you can see, there's a cut along the bottom side where they've pretty much already cut away your bones. Hence why it's already been butcher twined. Definitely having them bones and cooking with it is going to be a little bit of flavor that you're going to get up out of there. But this is going to be nice. What we're about to be doing next is we're going to be slipping right into doing this dry brine. First time doing this, so I've been interested in doing this for a while, whether it's on a steak or something like that. I think it's going to come out great on this. Like I said, it looked great, and I know everybody always speaks highly of it. But basically, you can be going with however much you choose. I want to make sure it's not going to be too salty because I don't plan on rinsing this thing off or nothing like that afterwards. So what I'm going with is about 2/3 of a teaspoon per pound. And remember, this was a 7-pound roast that we got here. Basically, I'm gonna be salting it down heavily all along the meat side, along the top side where I got a lot of that fat and everything, as well as the other side of the meat. I'll leave the bone side unsalted, and then from there I'm gonna go ahead and grab me a rack that is gonna hang out on overnight in the refrigerator uncovered. Hold on, I'll tell you what, I already like this whole dry brine and salt thing. You know what I'm saying? This thing already seems fun. So let's talk about it real quick fast. You can kind of see that we got this thing salted down heavily all around, and I'm not going to even lie to you. As I was doing it, I felt guilty. I had to go ahead and salt that bottom side. I know I said I wasn't, but I went ahead and hit the underside where the bones is at. It just makes me feel better. I like my meat seasoned all the way through, so I gave it a little bit of love too. But both sides, hey, can we get around there? You can see it's pretty much all nice and salted. So the idea of doing this dry brine, before I even started there, when I took it out that package, clean your meat, you know what I mean? Do whatever you do that you feel comfortable with, and then make sure that you pat it dry. So I had my paper towels, patted that thing dry, and then all we've done from there is we come with a nice heavy coat. I'm using Morton's salt, which in most people, if you do know, Morton's is a salty salt, if that make any sense. I know some people use the diamond salt or whatever, and I feel like you might need to use less. So that's part of the reason I went with the 2/3 versus normally I had also seen a lot of people doing more or less about a teaspoon per pound. But that's kind of why I went a little bit lighter. So that way also I don't want to worry about having to rinse my meat off at the end. And I think this should do well as far as with the penetration. Other than that, we got this thing all coated up. It's ready to go. We got it on a rack, sitting on my sheet pan. It's going directly like this, uncovered, in my refrigerator. 48 hours would have been great from what I've heard. We're going to be doing 24. Maybe later on that'll be something for us to check out and see if additional 24 hours on there makes a huge difference. But we're going to see you back. The idea what we're going to get from this is that salt is going to pull that moisture out of this roast, and then it's going to turn around and then actually reabsorb that salty mixture back into it, and you're gonna get that flavor and that saltiness all the way down to the bone. So when we get from here, we won't need to add a whole lot more salt, but we are gonna add some little bit more things on there for some flavor. I'll catch you today. Day 2, here we go. You can see very little liquid came out of this thing. So for those that might thought that maybe, this process would dry your meat out, definitely doesn't happen. It retains that moisture, and that's part of what that salt does. It brings it to the surface, and then it gets back in there all the way down to the bone. And then now you got that salt in there to kind of help it also keep your moisture long term. Now I'm not going to rinse mine off. That's why I went with a specific measurement of salt, more or less. But I am going to go ahead and knock off some of these top flakes, only because I am going to be coming with a little bit more flavoring over the top. I will be going with something that's a little lighter in sodium, so that way we don't get this thing too salty. But we got us something good. We got us a nice good start, shall we say. This baby looks a nice and deep red, which is normally what I've always seen whenever I've seen somebody do the kind of the dry brines or the salt brines. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's move to the next step here. I'm gonna get this salt off, and then I'm gonna bring out some seasoning agents. So there it is. Got that excess salt knocked off of there. This is really a beautiful looking piece of meat. I'm getting more excited as we getting closer towards the time. I know this is going to come out great. So like I said earlier, we're using Mr. Rashid Phillips' recipe more or less, and I'm going to be deviating and, of course, like always, making the Killer Miller Q style. So I'm going to be using a little bit of in-house ingredients, but I am going to be using a little bit of spicy brown mustard as my binder. And then from there, I'm going to go with a nice layer of coarse black pepper. That should help me get a nice little crust over the whole thing. And then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be bringing in some of this Sweet Smoky Joe's beef and pork rub. The reason I chose this rub, as you see right there, is low in sodium. So it's one that I'm not going to feel comfortable with, or I am going to feel comfortable with being able to go ahead and put over this whole thing and not have to worry about it being too salty, since we've already kind of salt brine, but it's got a great flavor in here. I actually got turned on to Sweet Smoky Joe's, like probably a lot of you, from Smoking and Grilling with AB, and he always used the Cajun one, I believe it is. But got the whole pack. They got some other ones that's pretty good too. So that's what we're going to be using today. I'm going to be keeping this thing pretty simple, and we're going to take some good care of it, and I got some other things we're going to do in a minute. And there it is, all pretty and ready to do the dance, shall we say. So pretty much we hit it with that, where's it at? Spicy brown mustard, nothing too crazy. I didn't have the fancy cracked version like Rashid has, so I just used what I had already open, man. I got about 2-3 mustards in the fridge. After a while, it's just like, come on now. We came right over the top with that. I always like me some crust, so we got some coarse black pepper. And then we finished it off with old Sweet Smoky Joe's beef and pork rub. Low sodium, might I add. It's a good one. Good choice for a lot of people. Some people need that. So now what we're going to do, this thing has to sit out for about at least 2 hours. We're trying to get this thing up to close to room temp. It is chilly still somewhat out here. It's not going to be sitting out here in the sun, but I'm in no rush. So we got a couple more things to do too before we level it up, but I want to let it sit with that season on undisturbed before I go ahead and add on these last bit of trinkets, and we get the fire ready, and we're going to get this thing roasting, man. It's going to be a good cook. You hold tight. Alright, so it has been about 3 hours this baby has been hanging out. And believe it or not, it's still pretty chilly, but it's about where it's going to be. Lone Star's been rolling for a little bit with some pecan wood. We're going to get that baby up to around 225, 250. Now, if you remember, there's already some butcher twine on there, a couple pieces going that way. And then I grabbed some extra because we're going to be doing some fancy stuff here with this rosemary, as we're pretty much just going to be adding a little bit to the top. Should I say a little bit? It's going to be a lot. In the back, and then we're going to also get some on the sides as well. So pretty easy with this twine. From what I heard, it's like tying a shoe. I've been playing with it always a little bit, but it's nothing too hard. And then we cut away the excess. So I'm about to slip in some rosemary pieces already on this side to kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be doing on the other side as well before we actually add on any additional butcher twine. All right, so there's the top of it. And don't worry about them little spots. We clean that up at the end. But, you know, more or less we getting it together, kind of intertwine it a little bit in that butcher twine. Now I'm going to get me a nice piece going around the outside, and then we'll get a couple pieces on the outside. We should be good to go. Check it out. We all tied up. We all tied down. We looking good. Pits up to temp. Let's slide over to the grill. So I got my handy dandy skillet all ready to go. We're about to be putting together something special. I had to get my top rack, I'm out of here, as I was going to cook the rib palm on top of there, but it was too close and was going to be touching right up there, so can't do that. So it looks like I'm going to be putting that pan down there on them tuning plates. So pretty much I just want to set up a little something. And I just want a little bit of beef broth in there. I'm going to use about close to half the container and save that. And then I just got some sherry, some cooking wine. Get some moisture in here. And what I want is I want all of those drippings from that, and I keep wanting to say prime rib, that choice rib, right? I want all of those drippings to fall right in here. We're going to do something special down here underneath on top of getting some aromatics going. Let me set it up. I'll show you what it looked like. That worked out just nicely. Look at that baby sitting there. Pretty. All right, one other little quick thing we're doing. So I got that whole bulb of garlic. I chopped off that root end, okay? The root end. Just chopped off the top. I'm about to hit it with a little bit of olive oil right in there, my bad. And then I'm about to wrap it up in some aluminum foil, and I'm gonna let it sit out here and roast. We're gonna be doing something with that, and when we get to the portion of basting this. So I'm about to put this all to bed. I'll let you come check all of this out in about an hour. Oh, it feels good to be cooking back with my baby. Man, I ain't been home for a while. We've been rolling along. I got my butter out here unsalted. Just kind of loosening up. I have not peeked. Here is this thing. We starting to smell good. This is probably about done. I'm gonna rotate this, and I can see we kind of drying up down there, but I do see some drippings. So everything is rolling right along. Rotate it. See you in an hour. Alright, so now let's get to this butter. It's nice and soft from sitting over there on the ledge. Just broke it down. I've already put together a nice little mop over here with just some, you know, nice blend of rosemary, sage, and thyme put together. Nice little mop that's going to do the damage we got. And now I'm going to break down some of these herbs and be adding this into our butter. And that's what we're going to be basting this roast with today. So I'm just going to go ahead and we got some parsley, we got some rosemary, we got some thyme in there. This is going to be good. It's going to be nice and savory. And then keep in mind, when we baste it with this mop, which is just going to be giving it one more hint and layer of flavor, that's going to also be dripping back down into our pan. So there's all those herbs mixed up. Grab that garlic up out of there. Come here. Oh, it's nice and gentle right now. It's ready to go. You should literally be able to squeeze this and it'll just pop right. Yeah. So there we got that roasted garlic. We're going to squeeze some of that in there and mush it up right with it. Check that out. Whew, that is hot. And that's all nice and combined in there and all broke down. I'm about to go take this back over there and let this kind of hang out and get nice and liquefied. And when we go back in there next time, we'll be basting with that. With this nice pretty mop right here. Just use a little bit of that butcher twine and go ahead and get that together. Hey team, I want to jump in here real quick and let you know thanks for following along. Merry Christmas to you, Happy New Year, and if you are new to the channel, go to that bottom right corner, make sure that you subscribe while you're here. Check out some of the other videos that you already missed, and for everybody that's been following along, 2023 is looking up. I got a lot of good stuff for you like always. We're going to keep it positive and we're going to keep it moving. Alright, hour and 45 minutes in, alright? We rolling right along, everything looking good. We about to just come in here. Like I said, I want to get this a little closer so it can start melting down so I can get ready to start basting. I probably need to add a little bit more liquid, so we're going to add a little bit more beef broth, and then we about to level up. Oh man, we just literally came right in and something dripped. Tell me that ain't looking good already. 104 degrees is what my meat stick X is telling me. I threw that in directly down in the middle of that center. We starting to crust up. I'm drying out a little bit in some areas, so I mean I'm starting to think about that basting, but I really want to wait a little on that because I want to keep this crust, let it form up real nice, and then I want to make sure that once I start hitting it with this butter that it just don't burn it all up, you know what I mean. So what I'm gonna do is, you can see some of that good stuff dripping down in there. Oh yeah, it's just dripping, it's working. We're gonna add a little bit of the rest of this beef broth to that. That wasn't that much. So I also add a little bit more of that sherry and that cooking wine. I'm just gonna slide that on there. Let that butter get a little bit of that smoke. Hit it with a little. I'm gonna add just a tad bit of salt to that too, and then I'll bring y'all back. All right, now we about to have some fun. You see, this is getting hot, starting to loosen up. I switched that out. Add a little sherry over there to my liquid. Now I'm about to show you what I'm finna do to level this thing up, and let me quickly get back under there so I can catch some more of this fat. Ta-da! So we got some of them baby little fingerling colored potatoes, nice and pretty, organic style. Threw in the rest of my little herbs and spices that I already had out there, along with one more stick of butter kind of blocked up. So you got some salt, some cracked salt and cracked black pepper on there as well, along with a little bit of olive oil. Just kind of been flipping these around along with a white onion. We're going to get these into this pan, in there with the rest of them juices, and back up under that roast. And then we're going to start marinating that baby with that right there. I'm finna give you a quarter turn, and it's going to be on, baby. There we go. Let's get this back up under there. Man, this is smelling amazing. This is already looking amazing. I know that's amazing. Oh, we got a couple fires going on today. A little fire pit, Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Y'all will see this afterwards, so Happy New Year and all that good stuff. We've been rolling right along. This is a little over 2.5 hours. Man, colors is down there looking beautiful. I can see some bubbling going on down there, so that's doing well. We at 122 internal, middle. I'm pretty much going to about 145. Give me a good solid medium. I know for me, I'll take it lower than I normally would go, and I'll turn around and then be utilizing this on some Philly steaks or something like that. About time for us to get some of this mop going. So all I'm gonna do is mix some of this up like that. See if I can slide this over a little bit. Now this I had a chance to get a little bit of that smoke. I'm just gonna hit it a little bit with that. This should give me a nice, ooh, I smell that aroma instantly. Additional flavor, and also some more to drip down right on top of them potatoes and give me some love. I might have been giving y'all a bad view trying to do this thing with my left hand, which I'm definitely not as talented. Let me finish this up and I bring you back. Man, that thing is looking and smelling beautiful. There we go. Flipped it around. Nice and basted. Already starting to get a nice color on here. Obviously, like I said, you know this thing smells amazing. We coming along just nice. Man, I had to bring you in here. I was just doing some quick dirty work. One more basting. I'm gonna rotate this thing. Still not at the temperature I want. Check them potatoes out. It smells amazing around here. Man, the color looks so good, I almost don't want to sear it off, but we're going to sear this thing off anyway. And I got some asparagus I'm going to bring out too. We're going to make this Lone Star work it out tonight. Alright, so what I had to do, this thing had a lot of liquid, as you can see right here, that was in the bottom of this, from the butter and the drippings, which is great. All I'm going to be doing is we're going to recycle, and I'm going to use that as I finish basting this thing out and rehydrating this good old prime rib, and this is where we're going to get our drippings from right here. Oh yeah, believe that. Drop these away. They're almost ready. Now that we done got rid of most of that liquid, they can start roasting up a little bit more. Still got a lot of liquid coming out of down there. Let me hurry up and get this back. Alright, here we are. 4 hours. 145. Man, that thing is beautiful. This is what we're gonna do. And I tell you what, got a chance to taste on some of this after getting the rest of that little bit of in that butter dish and kind of getting all the bottom of that up. That came out great. Those is looking good. I'm about to pull this off, and we're gonna set this Lone Star up to get ready and sear. So that means I got to get rid of this plate. Make sure you got you some welder's glove if you're going to touch this when it's hot, because it is heavy and it will be blazing hot. And that way we can get that rack exposed. And we're going to give each one of these sides about a minute on the good old crispy up game. Give it a little bit of that open flame. And I'll baste it one time before, and we'll pull these potatoes out and let them sit up here and finish out in the smoke and roast off. Alright, so you see we got this thing all removed, sitting over this open fire, smelling great. We're gonna get them bones a little quick second, and then I'll probably have it off camera when I start working these angles, but pretty much give it about 1 minute on each side, give it a rotation, and then if I need be, I'll just keep it going. Still got them potatoes over there on the other side. They chilling in the chamber. It's nice this Lone Star kind of still keeps all that heat over there on the other side, even though I got the top open. I got about 1 more minute on the head, but you see this thing's got a nice little char going on. Tasting beautiful as I'm messing with it a little bit with my hands, and definitely is smelling amazing. Give me a second. I'm getting this baby up off of here. We got to get this plate back on top of here, and I'm going to finish this thing off with some asparagus, and we're going to let this rest up. All right, I wanted to get you in here in the house where you can see a little bit better real quick fast. I got a beautiful char all over. Look at that fat cap, nice and charred up. Man, it smells so good. Looking nice and juicy. So, all I'm about to do, leaving it on this cutting board for a minute. I'm going to let this rest for at least a good 20 minutes or so, closer to a half. While we got to go back out there anyway, I'm going to leave it on this cutting board, throw it in the microwave, meet you back at the pit. So I got that temperature kicked up a little bit now over here on this Lone Star. You gotta love the versatility. Already got it back ready to rock. Slip that right back on. Like I said, make sure you got your welder's glove, comes in handy. Got me a nice bunch of spears here. Cut off to my bottoms a little bit. All I'm about to do is hit it with a little bit of Pam. And then I'm gonna go ahead and spray them down with a little bit of this olive oil. And a little bit of that cracked salt pepper. And we're gonna be good to go. And we're gonna roll them back and forth. Only gonna need about 2 minutes, and we'll have these done. They're gonna be so quick. I'll let you see what they look like on, and then they'll be out. There we go. You can see a little bit of the action. Like I said, a little olive oil spray on there. There we go. Get them a little char. These won't take long. I like them al dente, so we give them a couple minutes. Keep them moving. Salt, pepper, they be good to go. We get them up off of here. Wrap them in some aluminum foil. There they go. Quick and easy. A little bit of nothing. Lone Star's at it again. Let's get these potatoes up off of here. And we get some things sliced up. Okay, I can't wait no longer. No longer. All right. This thing is juicy like Lucy. As you see, my cutting board is all filled up. I did go ahead and get those asparagus spears up out of there along with them potatoes. Make sure it was plenty of good juice and butter and all that good stuff left. Save that. You can make some good gravy or leave it as is after you strain it for some good au jus. But those babies is ready, and I'll be leaving them right in that skillet so that way when I heat it up all tomorrow, I'll be able to throw it right on broil, get them a nice crisp and roast over the top and be good. So let's get to this thing. What I need to do first is get rid of these couple pieces of butcher twine that's left. And then I'm going to slice off a couple pieces and we're going to check this thing out. Alright, I wanted to bring you in here a little closer. So I got that twine up off of there. Now keep in mind, if yours wasn't already pre-cut, this is where you're going to want to cut away your bones first because it makes it a lot easier when it comes to slicing. Super easy to get away, cut away those bones. Basically, all you would do is just pick that thing up on its side, go straight down and follow along the bone seam and it should come right off. So since mine are already cut, you'll just go ahead and see what that looks like. They need a little finish off. There we go. Alright, so that's the 2 bone. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw them over to the side. Then that sits just like that. And if you got a boneless rib roast, you're pretty much looking at that right there. Oops, hold on, let me scoot it up there for you. There we go. You're looking at that right there, which is nothing but a row of ribeyes, baby. I'm going to slide these bones to the side. We're going to start on these slices. Alright, I want to spin that thing around a little bit so I wouldn't necessarily be all in your reach. Now, I'm not going to cut a lot of this. Keep in mind, for me, this is Christmas Eve. Now, I want to get this cook out the way so tomorrow, I'm just going to sit back and chill. Bam. Check it out. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Super juicy, man. There's so much coming up out of here. I'm going to play with this little outside piece for now because I'm really not even supposed to be into this like that. But you know we're going to have to get us a little taste. And tomorrow I'm going to come back full plate in hand. Well, I got full plate tonight, but tomorrow we're really going to see what's what. I see a nice looking smoke ring on here. Dude. That's fire. Cut off one more piece. Try to cut them thin. That's perfect for me. I know that's way too done for the majority of y'all, especially for the average person getting prime rib. That's about where I want mine at, or I'm gonna have to send that back to the old cook to throw that back on. And then, you know, we just gonna get rid of all that little extra fat. Okay. It's got flavor all the way through. And that crust is money. Woo! We're not gonna cut it all up. But like I said, I want to at least show you what it looked like. Tomorrow, actually, let me show you my little plate. And then tomorrow, we'll bring it back. There it is, team. Hey, tell me this ain't spectacular. Like I said, this was supposed to be for tomorrow, but had to throw me a little something together. Came out great. I'll let you get a peek over here at the thumbnail. It's the whole 9 yards. Actually, it's a little bit more to the side. A little more potatoes and everything, but check out that thing over there. Had to discard some of the juice so it can look a little more cleaner, but we nice and moist. Hey, so check it out, team. Let's take a quick second to recap this whole cook, go over everything, and look at it at its entirety. All in all, super happy. It's the day after. Not only did I get a chance to eat me a little bit last night, but I also got to eat me some on Christmas Day with the whole fam. Everybody loved it. So that salt brine. First time doing a salt brine for your boy. I enjoyed it. Like I told you, I used 2/3 a teaspoon per pound. So at the end of the day, I didn't have to do the whole rinse off and everything once it came after that overnight of sitting in the refrigerator. I pretty much just wiped off what was excess left on the top and on the sides. And from there, I went right on to seasoning it. Number 2, coming with that sweet smoky Joe's rub, which was low in sodium, was the right call. Not only was it not too salty all the way through, but it also had a nice beefy flavor. It was very natural. It didn't taste like it was doing too much, but it was a smooth taste all the way through. And it had a nice, beautiful smoke finish. That's kind of more on the pitmaster and making sure that you get a good smoke on it. But the pecan wood and the Lone Star, like always, did the job. Moving right along. Let's talk about a quick pro tip that I didn't mention. When you get done and you slice that thing up, whether you got to slice away your bones or whether you go ahead and take your bones apart, split them babies down to half, throw them back out there on the smoker, face down. That way you can get you a nice meaty rib to finish up on for yourself, all right? You put the time and the work in, this one should go to you. This baby is mine, and I'm going to be doing a little something with that here in a minute. But other than that, big shout out to Rasheed Phillips. If you have not checked out this brother's channel, or you haven't seen him on the Netflix special that he was on a little over a couple years ago at this point now, or any of the other things that he does on IG, phenomenal cooker, the gentleman smoker is the man. Definitely that's one of the influences that I like to check out when I'm looking at inspirations and people that make me want to continue to push on cooking. But overall, that recipe that we deviated from and did a little bit from was one that I kind of saw him doing and kind of got me in the mode to go ahead and do that. Overall, it came out beautiful. I really like the idea of adding that butter and kind of basting all the way through onto those potatoes at the bottom. That came out great. The au jus that I got left from that, magnifique, let me tell you. That right there could sell in a bottle. But look, we ain't gonna hold you too long. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me like always. Happy New Year to you. Don't do anything too crazy out there. In 2023, you already know we got big things coming. I'll catch you noon. Peace.